Coming up on this week's DIZ Pod, we cover and do a deep dive with Disney's Treehouse Villas. Character Spotlight covers Orange Bird, and we discuss our entire July 4th week at Disney. All that and more on this week's DIZ Pod. Hello and welcome, everyone. This is already week 2 with Lawrence, the newer format of the podcast. And man, it's already a total of 4 weeks since we've moved over to YouTube. And it's like, wow, it just seems like every night we're here already recording the next one. So very exciting. We have a lot of fun. I think we're settling in, and it'll just get better and better from our perspective. We've gotten some really good feedback as far as how well it's been going already. And I think people were loving the newer format last week as it starts to take shape. I like how it's going. I think Lawrence likes how it's going. And speaking of Lawrence, let's bring Lawrence in. Let's see. Let's bring him in. There he is.
Hello.
How's it going, my friend?
Good. I am awake, which is surprising after this last week that we've had.
Let me tell you. So we got home from Disney yesterday after our few days, which felt like a week.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say grueling week. It was all fun. Trust me. We'll get into that a little bit later for everyone listening and watching. But I didn't feel the fatigue until we got home. We unpacked, because that's how Tammy and I do things. We just unpack everything.
Sure.
We don't drop stuff. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. Things get unpacked. And then we know when we get up in the morning, it's back to normal. So we got home, we unpacked. And we didn't really, I think she just made a frozen pizza, because when we left you guys at Disney Springs, Jillian wanted chicken guy. So I got some chicken guy, and man, I'll talk about all that too, but I didn't really need to eat that much. And I just sat in the recliner, and Jacob sat in the recliner beside me, and he was playing on his Switch. I was just watching Disney live streams and I was just vegging. I was vegging out like half a trance, and it just felt so good to just lay there and look at the TV for hours, because I probably hit the recliner at I don't even know, I'll say 6 o'clock and fell cold to sleep at I don't even know, it's probably 11 o'clock at night. But when you get into that trance where you're so tired that you're paralyzed.
Yes.
It's like sleep paralyzation. I was there. I heard the TV. I looked at the clock. I saw it was maybe 11:30, and I couldn't move. Tried again at midnight. Couldn't move. Finally at 1, Tammy snoring on the couch. Jacob, mouth open, all reclined. I'm doing the same thing. I push him a little bit. I'm like, let's go to bed, bud. And so he gets up right away, and he's gone like the wind. I shut the lights off, leave Tammy on the couch. And actually, I tried to wake her up, and she screamed bloody murder. Whoa! She doesn't even remember it today. So that's how tired I was. How about you when you arrived?
So we our flight was a little delayed. We left about 8:30. Got back to the house at about 11:30. And when we got in, Jay was still awake. He had just got home. Let's see if I can tilt this up so you can see that. See that castle?
Yes.
It's a Lego castle that he got from work. Yeah. It's 4,800 pieces. So he had put that together. So we were talking about that, and the inside, if you go around the back, it opens up and there's a bunch of stuff in there. So we were talking about that, and my new iMac came, and I was putting that together. I was like, where am I getting this energy? I need to be going to sleep. So we slept pretty hard after after finally getting to the bed, but and got to work, this morning. Luckily, I worked from home. Catherine worked from home today, so wasn't too terrible.
Okay, that sounds like a better day than mine. Mine was full on, really busy. It started at 6:15 in the morning, and
Oof.
had to get out to the gym and train my client, and then try to see 7 patients, but that didn't quite work out. I saw
Mm.
6, because unfortunately one passed away, and
Oh
I had to
no.
spend 40 minutes doing a little bit of paperwork and things like that, so that took up patient treatment time as well.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, it was sad. Good guy, really enjoyed him. I'll just say this, he worked for NASA during the Challenger program and the shuttles and all that stuff, and
Oh wow.
really good guy. He was 95. I bet he had a great life.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
so pretty sad about that. So let's we'll get into more details about what we went through. We think the story is worth sharing and taking up a decent deal of the podcast, but we'll dive into the pertinent things here. And how about we get into that resort deep dive as we continue to do this each and every week? We're going to do it till we're done. We're going to hit each and every Disney resort. And then from there, we've got something else to start
Love it.
as far as a deep dive goes. All right, here we go.
Yeah, so this week we're going to talk about Disney's Treehouse Villas. This is at Saratoga Springs. We will have some good conversation about this one because this is actually where we stayed. We did a split stay at Pop Century, and then we moved over to Treehouse Villas for two days with Corey and his family and my brother Nick. So we had a great time staying up till 3 a.m, just chatting away. So the great thing about this is that it is close to Disney Springs, as being part of Saratoga Springs. You're close to Disney Springs, so you're not far away from that. And Saratoga is a beautiful area with a lot of different accommodations, and it's a DVC, so you get a lot of the amenities there, like the spa and a really beautiful pool. In the main house, but the treehouse villas are separate. So you actually have to take a separate bus loop to get to them. And what's nice though is that they are very secluded. People love that they are as secluded as they are. It's like they call them treehouse villas because it feels like you're in a treehouse, right? And it's nice and wooded. But the biggest thing for me is that, and we never even went, but the biggest thing is that the pool is open 24 hours a day. I don't know of another Disney resort that has that. Have you heard of one?
No, that's crazy. I'm hearing this for the first time. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, we could have gone to have a little pool party after the
You know,
parks. I didn't know
24
that.
hours a
And
day.
you wonder why
Um,
that is, right? I mean, with safety in mind, I'm sure there's signs that clear them that, no lifeguard on duty, swim at your own risk. But
Correct.
that, I wonder why. They
Yeah.
should
And
all be like that.
I think it was because the original intent when they were built back in 1975 was that they were going to be part of the Lake Buena Vista community.
Right.
So they were going to be more of homes than, a resort or a hotel. And then that project ended up getting abandoned, and then they were converted into rentals for Disney. So they were renovated back in 2008. And I got to tell you, I'm just trying to count. I want to say there had to have been about 10 USB ports in our room alone. I don't know if yours was about the same because there were like 2 on
No.
each nightstand, 2 on the dresser, 2 on the desk. There were a lot.
Yeah, you had more than we did. I think we really only had maybe 1 or 2 on each side of the dresser, and I really couldn't find any others. Like, I
Okay.
looked over because, I've been in enough Disney resorts to know that usually by the bed, there's some.
Yeah.
I didn't see any. I think they were more like table kind of nightstands and not
Okay.
like drawers there. So
Got
it
it.
was limited, but we came prepared.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was okay.
So, in the room itself, this is a 3-bedroom villa. So you have a primary bedroom with a full bathroom. In fact, the bathroom had a private water closet for the commode, nice sink there, marble, nice faucets too. And then the shower with all of its attachments. And then it even had a whirlpool tub. So it's very nice, stone floor throughout that bathroom. And then the rooms I felt were really good size. So if you were staying for a longer period of time, you should feel pretty comfortable. So that was the primary. And then you have a secondary, which had a queen bed. And then the third bedroom has bunk beds. So if you had, younger kids, and my brother, who was not a younger kid, did stay in that room. And the first night he slept on the top bunk, I guess, just to feel like, what it felt like to be a kid again.
And he's like, what, 6'2"?
Yeah, he's tall. So, but it was nice to have a separate bedroom. And then the living space really fit all of us. And I'm sure that's why we could stay up as long as we did just chatting. You have the dining area there that fit plenty of us. We had that breakfast the next morning. You have that breakfast bar with a full kitchen, complete with a fridge that had an egg in the freezer.
A frozen egg, yes.
And a stove, dishwasher, and then those two sofas, that sofa and that chair that you see, pull out into a double bed and then also a twin bed. So Jillian and Jacob were able to sleep there, and everybody had a nice, comfortable spot. I will also say, back there by that chair, yeah, there you go. Back there by the chair is where the primary bedroom is, and then the secondary and third tertiary bedrooms are over on the other side. So it does, if you're going to stay for a long time, a week or 2 weeks, it does really give you that sense of home. And then outside, you have a nice deck, and you also have a charcoal grill outside. And it's not attached. You can see the shape there. It's not attached to any of the other villas. So they were kind of like in pods. There was a pod of like 3 down these separate walkways. But as you can see there, you don't even see the other one. So it really felt private. I also like that the windows were floor to ceiling windows. So it gave you some really nice views of the woods. Some of them are up along the lake, so you get that, or the river there that takes you to Disney Springs. You get a view of that. And we had that bird, poor bird, that kept wanting to join us, kept trying to go through the window.
Yeah. This was the other bathroom here.
That's the other bathroom.
Our bathroom. Well, for Tammy and I and the kids, and for your brother Nick.
Yeah,
that was our bathroom there. Very impressed. I was very impressed by this bathroom, and you mentioned the faucets, and I absolutely agree. I said to Tim, "You like this faucet?" She's like, "Yeah, it's pretty nice."
Yeah,
I mean, great stonework, tile work here. Again, built in the 70s. I don't know if this was ever updated. Maybe it was, but I just like the look. If I moved into this place, I wouldn't change a thing just for it being in the woods and the feel of it.
exactly.
I think it was fantastic. I was very impressed. I really loved staying there, and the spaciousness to house all of us comfortably. I mean, we spent hours out there till 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning one morning, just talking and having fun, and we were all a distance from each other.
Yeah. The kids and Tammy were in the living room.
Yeah.
Some of us were in the kitchen. Excuse me, and it never felt cramped at all. So I could really see staying here, for a longer period of time.
Yeah, for sure. And here was the pool. Couldn't get too great of a photo of it there, but that is there. And
it is a little smaller than what you see at some of the other Disney resorts, but again, being open 24 hours a day, And as secluded as it is, people that are staying in the main part of Saratoga are not going to come over to this pool because they're going to be closer to the other pool. So this was really just, excuse me, just for those treehouse villas. So it was really nice.
Yeah, for sure. These photos today were furnished by Disney Tourist Blog, so we thank them for that. And I don't know. Anything else that you had on the villas for details?
No, I'll just say that when you get back up to the main portion, of course, you can do your own shopping, especially if you're driving, because you have a full kitchen. But I will say the one issue I did have, because it is secluded, having to take that bus loop if you're not bringing your own car was a little bit of a delay. Like even us getting to Disney Springs, I mean, you must have beat us there by, I don't even know, half hour maybe.
Easily.
Yeah.
Probably more. I think it was more. That's a good way to gauge that. So when Lawrence and family were checking out yesterday, they had to take their luggage to the first bus stop, which is the bus loop, right?
Yeah.
So they had to take the luggage there, wait to be picked up by a Disney bus. And then from there, it took you to the front of Saratoga, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then from there, you had to wait for a Disney Springs bus.
No, then we had to walk to the back of that building that we went to get breakfast at, to pick up the Disney Springs boat, because that's only accessible by boat. Springs from there, you can only get the boat. They don't have the bus. So, excuse me. So you had to walk to the backside, get the boat, and then get over to Springs.
Got it. Yeah, and I would say we beat you guys by probably at least 40, 45 minutes, it felt like.
Yeah.
So
that I would say is one issue. The other issue I would say is there's not a lot of parking based on the amount of people that you can fit in each treehouse villa. So if you had separate families, we didn't drive, but if Nick drove and met us there, and we drove and you drove, that's 3 vehicles. And there's only 3 or 4 spots sometimes.
4. I think it's 4.
Yeah, for 3 houses. So that could be an issue if you were to drive to the parks and then go back, you may not have a parking spot. And then they'll say that you should park at the grandstand and then walk back, that has to be at least 10 to 15 minute walk.
Yeah, it would be quite a bit. It would be quite a bit. I mean, you and I jumped in the car just to go get breakfast in the morning.
Right.
I didn't time it, but what was that? Maybe a 6-minute drive?
I would say so. I mean, it was quicker to go out through that entrance and then drive on the main road and then come back into Saratoga. That's how remote, this really is. So, I would just be, cautious of that and weigh whether you want to rely on Disney transportation or drive.
Yeah, we always try to think of solutions, right? So from our personal experience, Tammy and I showed up with the kids. It was late at night. We used the Magic Band to get in, and there's no one around. It's secluded. You're on your own out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we looped around and we finally found our pod, our treehouse villa. And when we did, the corresponding parking spaces, like you had mentioned, there were 4 spaces and all 4 spaces were taken. We looked around for anything like, can we just pull off to the side and park in the woods just off the road, parallel to the street?
Yeah.
There wasn't even a place to do that. So we called you, hoping they would give a solution of some kind. And Disney's solution was that, right? Go park at the grandstand, and it wasn't walk back at that point, or ride back with you. Yeah, and that you just can't expect a family to do that. That's such a long walk.
Yeah.
And so what we ended up doing to solve that was we doubled back a couple of times and parked probably not quite a half a mile, but maybe a quarter mile back in between that maybe is what we did. I think
Hmm.
it was I think that that was about a 6-minute walk for Jacob
Okay.
and I. From there, it was 2 or 3 full parking areas, which again is anywhere from handicapped is 2 spaces,
Yeah.
non-handicapped sections were 4. So it wasn't that bad of a walk from there, but in my opinion, that's still something that's very inconvenient for anyone paying that good money there for something like that.
Yeah.
So I think when we talked, I think the easy solution is to just pave more spots. I think you can still do that and still have a very woodsy feel and not
Yeah.
feel like anything's taken away from the ambiance or the experience because there's plenty of shoulder area to do
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
You just have to accommodate for it, like you said. For as big as those are, we had your family, my family, I guess 2 families, but you had your family, but we had 3 possible people that could have taken cars there.
Right. Right.
And that's what happened actually to us, right? We showed up later and I saw a giant family going into the pod next to us. And apparently we had figured out, well, they must have taken like all 4 spaces.
Right.
So we didn't even get one because you guys didn't even drive. So the parking is an issue there. So just so you know that, just be prepared for it.
Yep.
And the other thing uh, to just mention too is we kind of looked at after a long night at Magic Kingdom, we boarded the bus and we got dropped off at the front of Saratoga.
Hmm.
And then from there, that's when we took the bus loop, right?
The loop. Yep.
Yeah, the loop. So, what was it that took us so long to get back? Was it just that the the resort is that much further away from MK?
Um,
And
to some
it
degree, but
seemed
then you
quite
also,
long.
yeah, you also had the 3, because the main building is the last stop on that loop. So the bus from Springs or from the parks or is going to be, 3 stops until you get to the main one, the main building, and then you have to get off there and take the loop bus. And then we waited a good, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just have to be prepared. Just have to be
Mhm.
prepared. I will say though that the loop bus runs from 6:15 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Mhm.
So that is handy. Um, and when we arrived with our luggage, well, actually, our luggage was there because we were at Pop Century and they transferred our luggage for us. Which I don't know if you knew that they did that, but if you did a split stay, you can ask for them to transfer your luggage on your checkout day. You just have to get it to them by 1 o'clock to Bell Services, and they will transfer the luggage for you to your new resort.
That's
So
good to know. I didn't know they did that.
yeah, yeah.
That's really
So
good to know.
that's handy. But then when we got there, it was again late at night, and so what they were able to do for us is get Bell Services to take us on the golf cart over to the actual villa. So that was nice to have that.
Okay. Great. All right. We good there?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And
And
who knows?
next week we'll probably do Pop Century since that's pretty fresh. We just did that one, so
That sounds great. That sounds great. Let's check in with our sponsors really quickly. If you are looking to move close to the magic, just like we are close to the magic and some of our other friends, with over a decade of helping people find the homes of their dreams, Victor Naraki is the perfect realtor of Vision Home Real Estate LLC. To help you find the home of your dreams, simply go to DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com. That's DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com. Victor also has a YouTube channel as well, and his information is down below in the description. You can certainly click on that. And if you subscribe to his channel, In the year of 2023, if he reaches 10,000 subscribers, he will donate $1,000 to Give Kids the World. And Victor would like you to know that he is a donator regularly as well, but he'd like to do that in honor of all of you. And it helps all the way around. Lastly, if you're about to start planning your next vacation, book your next vacation with Your Magical Adventures Await. Claudia is creating Disney adventures worldwide. She can create a magical adventure to Walt Disney World, Florida, any Disney park worldwide, Disney Cruise Lines, Alani Resort in Hawaii, guided group vacations with Adventures by Disney, and she is also a Universal Studios expert. If you book with her, her services are free, and she is available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Make your magical planner. Claudia Anderson, from Your Magical Adventures Await, 956-455-8049, and you can get her on Instagram, all one word, Claudia Anderson. And we'll have both of those fine people on at some point. I'll have to talk to Claudia. I know Victor is raring to go at any point. So, yeah, let's keep it moving. So let's talk about our character spotlight. It was kind of nice last week when I was able to jump into chat for the final half hour of the premiere of the pod last week, and some of the watchers were commenting on who they would like to see as far as a character spotlight character. And if there's a character you would like us to check out, it's even more interesting, right? If it's a character that is not a main character.
Yeah.
Make us dig a little bit more, and you can probably learn, way more than you ever thought about any particular character like we're going to talk about today. But Orange Bird was the one that was mentioned that caught my eye. I love Orange Bird. A lot of people love Orange Bird. Your daughter Finley loves Orange Bird. Orange Bird is right there. And it's funny. We don't even know why we love Orange Bird. I'm telling you, most people don't know the history of Orange Bird. He's just cute. He's cute, and you can buy him at the Flower and Garden Festival.
That's right.
You can buy his sipper, there, or you can buy it at this is such a hard word to say, and I'm going to have to say it multiple times. Sunshine Tree Terrace.
Mm-hmm.
You can find him there as well, where he sits up on the shelf behind you. He's always sitting up back there. If you ever order from Sunshine Tree Terrace, you look in the back, he should be up on the shelf. I think that's kind of a thing.
Okay.
So, yeah. So let's dive right into that. I'm going to continue to try to get used to my teleprompter because I am determined to be that. And then maybe someday I could become the news anchor on CNN. Who knows?
There you go.
But we're going to talk about Orange Bird. And again, you're not going to believe some of these facts I pull out. I couldn't believe them when I read them. And very interesting. And there are some similarities between Orange Bird and Oswald.
Oh.
Yeah. So here we go. All right. And I'm producing the show too. So I don't know. I may stop and show you a photo. We'll see how it goes, or I'll show them all at the end. So it'll be a little show and tell. So, okay, here we go. Orange Bird is a Disney character that was created as a mascot for the Florida Citrus Commission in 1971. He is an orange canary with an orange fruit head and green leafy wings. He cannot speak or sing, but he communicates with orange-colored smoke clouds. News to me. He lives in the Sunshine Tree Terrace in Adventureland at Magic Kingdom theme park. Orange Bird was created by Disney in exchange for the Florida Commission sponsoring the Enchanted Tiki room attraction and Sunshine Tree Terrace at the Magic Kingdom. He was designed by Disney animator Bob Moore and advertising executive Don McLaughlin. He debuted in 1971 as a walk-around character and a figure behind the counter of the Sunshine Tree Terrace, just like the one sitting back there. He also appeared on national television, print, and radio ads for Florida Oranges alongside singer Anita Bryant. Bryant narrated a record album telling the character's story, which included songs written by the Sherman Brothers, who also wrote the Orange Bird song for him. So here's a picture. We'll throw up a picture, and this is Anita Bryant with Orange Bird. Look how he looks. That is not the Orange Bird we know. So Orange Bird became a ubiquitous citrus icon, particularly throughout Florida and the United States. He was featured in exhibits at the Orange County Regional History Museum in Orlando and McKay Archives at Florida Southern College. He also appeared in a few Disney educational shorts in the 1980s, such as Foods and Fun, a nutrition adventure, and The Bird, or the Orange Bird, in the Nutrition Bandwagon. He was popular among children who received Orange Bird merchandise, such as pins, cups, hats, and plushie toys. Here's a quick look at him doing meet and greets in the parks. We have a black and white photo and a color photo. Orange Bird faded away from the public eye when Disney and the Florida Citrus Commission ended their partnership in 1987. He was removed from the Sunshine Tree Terrace, and his merchandise was discontinued. He remained in the Disney archives for many years until he was rediscovered by fans and collectors. So in 1994, he was featured at Tokyo Disneyland due to his high popularity in Japan, where he was celebrated on Japan's annual Orange Day on April 14th. Now we move ahead to 2012. He made a triumphant return to the Sunshine Tree Terrace at Walt Disney World, where his figure was restored and his merchandise was relaunched. In 2015, he moved to a new location near the Adventureland entrance sign at Magic Kingdom. In 2021, he got a line of clothing and apparel, including a magnetic shoulder plushie. He also appeared in the Disney Kingdom's comic book series in the Enchanted Tiki Room issue. So, just to kind of wrap this up, we can take one more look at more of the updated Orange Bird items. An Orange Bird is a unique, charming character that represents the spirit of Florida and its citrus industry. He has a colorful history that spans over 5 decades of Disney magic. He is beloved by fans of all ages who enjoy his cheerful personality and orange thoughts. So you see how
to think that he was away, no merchandise, no real reference to him for so many years, because now you can't go to the Flower and Garden Festival and not see him everywhere. That merch is out there. That Loungefly sold out like that. There was something, was it ears or something that sold out real quick? Couldn't get them.
I know when the Sipper was first debuted, I think last year, at last year's Flower and Garden Festival, you couldn't get your hands on that for a while. That was a hot item. So yeah, some of the Orange Bird stuff can certainly become hot items.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what do you think about this? I mean, if you're just listening to the podcast, well, if you're just listening, you're obviously listening on the YouTube Music app, which you can simply slide the button. You need to see these pictures of the Orange Bird. If you would have showed me these pictures and not told me who he was, I would not have told you that was Orange Bird.
One of them looks like the San Diego chicken a little bit.
Oh, right.
The other, there's another one where he looks more like a cardinal. It's really interesting. Have you ever seen the first season of Sesame Street and what Big Bird looked like back then?
I'm sure I did.
Very different from what we know today, and that's what this kind of reminds me of. Is Mickey
morphed as well, but not as drastically as this.
Yeah.
This is probably the most drastic Disney character transformation I've ever seen.
Yeah, I would not have a clue who that was.
When I pulled that up, I was like, whoa, what is that?
That's wild. That's
He's
wild.
much cuter today. And am I making this up? Did we hear like there may be some character meet and greets happening with Orange Bird sometime soon?
I don't know if we have concrete evidence of that, but
Could have been a rumor,
I would bet
but
uh,
I
somebody's thinking
mean,
about it.
well, you got to do it. Why not do it, Disney? Why not do it?
Well, you know what's good is with Epcot testing some of these lesser known characters for meet and greets. You never know. Maybe he pops up there during the next year's Food and Wine or Flower and Garden.
Yeah, so you did just like me. I always wanted to default to Food and Wine. And I think we
Yes.
default to Food and Wine because Food and Wine lasts most of the year.
Yes.
It does. So yeah, I can't think of anything else I can think of to talk about Orange Bird. I'm glad to have let everyone know some of the history, and I'm sure most people listening had to learn at least something about
Oh yeah.
that. And how about the similarities of Oswald, where he did disappear for a while and was resurrected.
At least they didn't lose him to another company. They just weren't using him.
Yeah, the deal was done,
Yeah,
and I didn't mention this, but how did he come back? Like, I guess Disney owned him anyway. I don't know. I guess Disney owned him anyway, so they could
probably.
just resurrect him when they wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's just funny how you can sever ties, right? With something you've established something. He was a character there in the parks, and sponsorship stops. We rip the label off and we move on. Kind of
Yeah, you
crazy
think
how that
about
happened.
a lot of those rides in Magic Kingdom were sponsored by somebody, back in the day. GE with Carousel. I think even Space Mountain had a sponsor, if I remember correctly. Um, and the countries in Epcot were all run by their respective countries, and so things just kind of change, I guess, as businesses need to change. But it's nice to see that they didn't lose that because of that sever.
Yeah, I'm glad they brought him back. He's cute. He's
Yeah.
cute. I don't think he would be as popular at all if you brought him back looking like this. Oh, the evolution.
He could be one of the baddies. Looking at some of those pictures.
I know. I know. He'd be involved in a villain's meet and greet,
Yeah.
maybe. So yeah. Let's talk about one quick thing I can touch on, and then we'll get into our week,
Sure.
which will be some real fun stuff. I hope everybody enjoys our story, our adventure that started on July 3rd and ended on July 5th, 6th.
6.
Probably I don't know if we have anything to tell about July 6th, but maybe. So we'll see. We'll see how the story flows. But yesterday, which was July 6th, I decided to take some of these photos because we have to become more conscious of what we're doing and when we're doing it. And hey, if we're going to talk about something on the pod, let me snap some photos. So I was over at Disney Springs and we had previewed some of the Florida flavors of Florida items that are going on right now at Disney Springs. And so I tried my first one, and this is what it was. It was called Sunshine in a Cup. And look how good that looks. It had vanilla soft serve with orange juice and a thinly sliced orange at the top, in which the big, thick paper straw was driven through it. So it's pretty to look at. It tasted very good. Basically, if you like creamsicles, orange creamsicles, you'll like this. Did the vanilla dominate the orange? Yes, but I felt like I got a little bit more of, when you're eating or drinking something like this, typically you're getting the cream, you're getting the vanilla taste, and you're getting like that popsicle orange, right?
Yeah.
This was different because you were getting that acidic orange juice instead mixed with the vanilla soft serve.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a different experience with that. And I did enjoy it very much. And I probably would let me give it a 4 out of 5 Mickeys. And the only reason I won't give it a 5, although I loved the vanilla with it, I probably would have loved a little more orange
Okay.
with it. That's it. I have no problem with it. I would get it again. Probably just won't, because if I'm there once or twice before uh, the event ends, then there's other things that I need to try.
Yeah.
So,
And there's quite a
but
bit too, right? I mean, there's quite a bit of restaurants participating, and this runs from July 1st to August 13th. So it's a good little portion of time there, 6 weeks or
yeah,
so, which is
still have a little
cool.
bit of time. I think we might even try to do a shorter park, uh, not park stream, but yeah, maybe purposely go to a park that closes a little bit early.
Hmm.
Maybe we fit in an Animal Kingdom or something. I don't know. So it forces us out of the park at like 8,
Hmm.
and we can go over and purposely try a couple of things. I'll see if the family can maybe pick a couple things off that menu to target.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, then I think it'll be worth going over to Disney Springs Live and trying a couple of flavors of Florida stuff.
Yeah, and there's
So
30 different locations that are participating, so should be something for everybody.
that's a lot of stuff. We're recording tonight in the middle of a thunderstorm. I don't know if you can hear any of it, but
I'm
it's
not
been.
hearing yours, and I'm glad you're not hearing mine, because
Oh,
we
so
also are
wow.
having a thunderstorm.
The storms have been nuts over here today, like one after another, just coming through. Super dark, heavy rain, and it moves on, gets a little sunny, and then the next one's coming through. I
Wow.
haven't seen a barrage like that. I don't even know if ever.
Mm.
So yeah. Let's get into our final segment, which is this week in the parks, huh? So here we go. This week in the parks, we have tons of eh, content to talk about, and we didn't really pre-plan this, but we can just kind of start, and I'm sure the conversation will just flow from there. So it started it started for me and you together on July 3rd. So I arrived at Magic Kingdom in time for the July 3rd fireworks. We rode
Mhm.
some rides. Certainly interrupt me if I'm missing anything in our story. Uh, the weather was threatening, and I don't think anything really happened until the fireworks started, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
No, it kept getting dark, and we were watching those clouds come over, and a little bit worried, but didn't really do anything. We were lucky.
Yeah, it didn't. I remember kind of moving away from that storm as it was creeping over Tomorrowland. Samantha and I went over to Tiki Birds, and from there, I think we did a couple of things, and we headed towards Main Street. And so we were waiting for Happily Ever After. No, not sorry, not Happily Ever After. We were on Main Street for the July, I hate this, well, 4th fireworks, but on the 3rd.
Yeah.
And so we waited quite a bit, and we know why we were delayed. There had to be weather in the area. We weren't seeing the weather at the time, though.
Mhm.
So it's quite a long delay. It was kind of a debate if they were going to happen, I guess, as it got a little later. But I had faith that it would happen. That's not a show they want to let go. So we I'm trying to think what happened. I think it rained. It started to rain. And so we went for cover, and Main Street cleared a little bit as people went into the Emporium and the other shops for a little bit of cover. And then we had heard that the show was going to start in a couple of minutes.
Well, what was interesting is that I we had talked about watching them. Where were we going to watch them from? Um, a lot of
Yes.
people were talking about the train station was better. I saw them last year, and the reason that people say where to watch them, because normally Magic Kingdom, you know where you really want to watch them. Your primary spot's going to be Main Street. But with these fireworks, because it's the Celebrate America, they actually have them shooting off basically in a 360. So you have the fireworks over the castle, and then you have perimeter fireworks going on. But I saw, saw them last year and thought watching them straight on was the best. The perimeter adds to it, but I think you're better off watching them from straight on. And I mean, the castle, the way the projections are done with the stars and the stripes, it was phenomenal.
It really was. And I agree with you. We really did debate. It was my first time watching them in person, shooting them for our live stream, and just wanted the absolute best angle for our viewers. And glad we stayed where we did, which was what, 3/4 of the way up Main Street.
Yeah.
Because you want to see a little bit more of the castle. You don't want to be that far away from the castle. People want to see it. I mean, granted, they weren't really projections, but now and then the stars would show up in the different colors. Right. And I really felt like, does the 360 part of the fireworks work? Absolutely. If you want to stand back there and kind of see that, I don't know what that image looks like from back there, but I was trying to shoot a little bit of that and a lot of the front. And what was happening behind me was more of just general fireworks, I felt like.
Yeah. Right.
So after a while, I paid less attention to those and more of what was going on up front, around the castle, over the castle. And I thought that show was great. I thought that, the music obviously gives you an old time feel for it. I felt like I could have been back in the 1700s watching this celebration.
Right.
I almost felt like, if this makes sense, like the fireworks was slower. It wasn't, there's different styles of fireworks. There was a lot of just boom, and then they just take their time to dissipate, and just went, obviously, it always goes so well with the music, and it just mixed well with the music. They were patriotic looking fireworks. And so I liked it. I loved it. And I feel like this now has to be a tradition. And I don't know why we haven't been there in the past. Last year we were away on vacation, but previously to that, I just don't know why we weren't there.
Yeah, it's what I really like about it is it gives you the opportunity, since Magic Kingdom does them on the 3rd and the 4th, if you're there, if you're local or if you're, there on vacation during those 2 days, you can go to Magic on the 3rd and then go to Epcot on the 4th and get to see both shows, which is great. And then Magic Kingdom with the DJs in Frontierland and Tomorrowland, and then right up on the stage in front of the castle, it's a totally different atmosphere than you really get to see. And I thought it was a lot of fun.
And it's an atmosphere that you can enjoy for free.
Right.
You don't really get DJs around Magic Kingdom for free. That usually signifies a party. And so it's something different to see as well. So I think going to Magic Kingdom, if you want to make sure you're at Magic Kingdom for July 4th fireworks on the 4th, then that's on you. But I got to imagine it was way more packed on July 4th at Magic Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
Then to me, that's not the way to do it. The way to do it, like you said, if you have 2 nights to spare, you should go see the July 3rd fireworks at Magic, and then you should go to Epcot on the 4th and see those fireworks.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the better way to do it. But it was a great experience. And I'm just thinking, we're not getting the nights crossed, right? What night was it that we watched Happily Ever After, but it rained?
That was the previous week.
Oh.
That was the previous week.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think moving on, we met you guys at Epcot on the 4th, right? And I don't know where you were for a while.
I
Tammy
told
kept saying, "Where's Lawrence? Is he here? Is he here?" I'm like, "He'll find me. I don't know what he's up to right now, but he'll find me."
I told
Uh,
Neil we were kind of working the park opposite of each other, just because of with the time that we got there, and I had picked up a Frozen Ever After to go do, and but we got there and tried to kind of hide from the heat and the sun, because the day before was not good for Finley with the heat and the sun. So we were trying to dodge that and spent a lot of time in the creations until she wanted to go on Spaceship Earth, which was right after you guys went on Spaceship Earth. So we did finally meet up at what 7, I think it was somewhere around there.
yeah.
At in America at Regal Eagle, which is normally the place for us to eat
Let's
good
talk about
food.
let's talk about that Regal Eagle.
It is quiet, and they have good food. They also have free refills. It's really the great place. And man, on the 4th of July, that was not the great place to be.
No, I mean we thought we had a plan in place. You know, the day went the way the day went. I think the day was fine for you. It was fine for
Mhm.
me. And then we met up and we're like, all right, let's do this. I'm feeling some barbecue today. And it really had nothing to do with being the 4th. I wasn't one of those like, it's the 4th of July. Let's go eat it. Regal Eagle.
Right.
That's the thing to do. And so I just felt like I wanted that. And that's Jacob's staple. Jacob wants Regal Eagle pretty much every time he's in Epcot.
He gets the brisket,
And
right?
he loves the brisket. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, he loves the brisket sandwich.
Yeah.
I get the North Carolina. Is that also the brisket, but just not in a bun? I can't remember.
Maybe.
Yeah, they just throw it on a tray with a
Yeah.
ton of fries. So no, Lawrence was talking about, the Regal Eagle is something that it is very rare that you can, even on a Saturday night, you can just go there at dinner time. You know you're going to get a table, many tables to choose from. You'll get some air conditioning, some of the best barbecue, arguably the best barbecue on Disney property.
Hmm.
And it's just a fine experience. And it's great for a quick serve, you know. So I have nothing bad to say about Regal Eagle for sure. And if you're not familiar with it, just to say quickly, Regal Eagle, the theming is Sam Eagle, who is a Muppet, who is all American. And when you take time to look at the walls on the sides, because there are what, 4 or 5 different barbecue sauces, and with those barbecue sauces, each one is award winning, and it's award winning by different Muppets.
Right.
So very interesting to look at and read and enjoy the atmosphere too. Very American.
Hmm.
So, but we went there, right? We showed up and we got a clue right away. It was super hot. Not a single table. When no table, picnic tables outside are empty,
Yeah.
you know there's going to be an issue, and we knew it right away. We went around to the side. Now we had not even seen you yet.
Right.
You were
Right.
inside.
I was
So
inside already, and they when I walked up to the door. Normally, you can walk in whatever door of the 2 doors that there are, but no, they were directing you around the side to enter. So they were doing one way in, one way out, which also got me to think, okay, this there's something going on. And then we got up to the door, and the cast member was like, there are no tables, just so you know, if you're going into order, there are no tables. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then I got in, and yeah, there were no tables. The ordering line was way long, and I believe you couldn't even mobile order because they had shut it down.
we were outside and they shut down mobile order, and there was a line all the way down the side of the building of
Yeah.
people who had placed mobile orders, and they were waiting for their order to be finished. And we got in line and we were trying. And while we were doing that, there were people that were starting to pile in behind us in line. Then they started asking us if we, had mobile ordered, and we're like, we're trying, and they
Yeah.
they too were saying, well, we're trying, but at the same time, shortly after, they're saying, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm going to keep working at this and keep my place in line for now.
Yeah.
And at that point, I must have did I decide to call you? Maybe I called you and you're like, oh, I'm in line. And I'm like, oh, okay. Is it not that long of a line? And you're like, no. So we just went inside. I just said my family's inside, and we went inside and we ordered right with you. And Bernadette and Clint, our friends, had commandeered a table because they'd gotten in there before us. They had already been in there. And we were able to sit and eat, and that was a lifesaver. So thank you so much to them, and glad you were in there already, because who knows what we would have done at that point. So that kind of salvaged the night a little bit. And after that, we made a bad decision. We made a bad decision, didn't we? We
did.
We thought, even though you can be a park pro with your park bros, we found out that going to Guardians of the Galaxy was a bad choice with limited time to go. For once, I actually thought it wasn't the smartest choice, but you kind of went along with it with me, which made it like, okay. And I really only did it because I know Jacob, my son, really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And later you admitted, I kind of knew it probably wasn't the right choice. But we got in there, and knowing this, we made it through the first 2 queues. That's how you want to call them. After we get transported, we go into like that main line area now. And I look at my watch and I'm like, we've got 20 minutes to get back to the lake and everything. And it's just not going to happen. So I'm looking around and I'm like, there's got to be a place to leave. And there was an exit sign, but I was unsure about it. And I poked my head through it, and there were signs, sure enough, no camera access, cast members only. And I'm so glad that maybe 20% of me was like, I'm just going to poke my head out that second door. And I'm so glad I didn't do something like that, because like Sam said, we love our annual passes.
Yes.
You wouldn't want to just make a rash decision that got you in trouble. So we pulled back. We found a cast member, worked our way backwards into the transportation queue, and the cast member was kind enough to guide us through, and we made it. And in making it, I had the wrong setting on. We were still stuck on Wi-Fi for the fireworks, which you don't want to do for signal. And most of the 4th of July fireworks, which are only seemingly like 4 minutes long, our viewers missed quite a bit of it. So I was crushed about that. But we recovered the next day with what we did on day 3 of our adventure, right? Which was July 5th.
Yeah.
We took a long time to announce this, because we thought that, not that nobody's ever done it, but we just wanted to try to announce it late or really close to the time we were doing it, just so that people in front of us didn't do it, because, then it kind of looks like you're copying people.
Right.
So what happens? We've got a channel coming up doing it. We had a channel do it before us the day after we announced it. It's like, what? But I teased my friend Tanya about it, and she did a great job with her challenge. And I'm sure she had that. I have no doubt she had that planned ahead of time. But
just to say, we picked July, where the heat index is like 115, to do a 4-part challenge.
I know, right?
Just to add another level of chaos.
Yeah, sure. And there's all kinds of different challenges to do. We definitely want to do some other ones. I did like the water challenge. We can work out details with that one. I know that we discussed that the other day. There's a channel that discussed it yesterday, that they were going to do a water challenge.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Yeah. So, but we said it first. That's all I'm saying. We said it.
And some people will do the coasters. They'll do all the coasters. So they'll do Everest, they'll do Guardians, they'll do Rock and Roller Coaster, Slinky, and then Space and Big Thunder, and I guess Seven Dwarfs now. There were people that used to do all the mountains. There were people that used to do, all sorts of different ones. That's the great thing about a challenge, a 4-part challenge, is make it your own. You know, if you want to include a show, there was somebody who I spoke to recently that wanted to do one ride, one show at each park, and then also grab, food. So ours was one photo, food or snack, and two rides at each park. And then on top of that, we added the four forms of transportation, which we just about nailed. The one I thought was going to give us a problem was the Skyliner with the rain. And luckily we caught it in between the storm. So Skyliner wasn't an issue, but the ferry, the ferry was the issue. So see that as a park pro, you learn something new. The ferry from Magic Kingdom runs to the transportation center one way only after a certain time when it starts to get closer to park closing.
Absolutely. And for a quick moment, I thought our quest was over. I ran up and the cast member was like, nope, we only run one way right now. And I'm like, we are doing a 12-hour challenge. We started at noon. And we quickly, it's kind of funny because Lawrence came up with a solution. I misinterpreted the solution. And when I spit back my interpretation of it, he goes, oh, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
So we did it by my suggestion, which was, it was a little bit of work, but I felt like everybody in the chat had our backs because they had been in this already for 10 hours with us.
Absolutely.
Right, and we felt like the best choice was to get on the monorail, go to Magic Kingdom, get right off the monorail. As the park is exiting massively,
Yep.
we join them and go right on the boat, go back to the Ticket and Transportation Center. That completes our boat ride. We get back on the monorail. We get into Magic Kingdom. We all split after we eat a snack. I had the fresh fruit waffle sandwich there. And I got to go on Tron and Mine Train. You all did something else. And we completed the task. And I finished the live stream at 5 hours, 59 minutes, and like 56 seconds.
Crazy.
Which, for anybody that doesn't know, if you live stream past 6 hours, you cannot edit that live stream. So if you have copyright, you're out any ad revenue or anything like that. So we ended it pretty quickly, and that was like, whew. But you hear of people doing these challenges, and once you finally do it, it kind of is a badge of honor. It's a feather in your cap. It makes you feel like you really did accomplish something, and it is like a status symbol now.
And other people see it that way too, because Catherine had made buttons saying 4 parks one day, and people would see that button. She had an "I'm celebrating" button and put that on there, and people were, oh, what did you do? How far into the challenge are you? Cast members were celebrating it. The one that took the final picture, which was the final piece of the challenge, she was celebrating it with us. So it was good. I'm glad we all did that together, and no one can ever take that away.
No, they can't. And that final cast member doing the photo pass on Main Street, she was really excited. And I felt like as we were taking the photos, like I said to Tammy, it felt like we won a NASCAR race and the entire team was taking photos post race.
Yeah.
Like it was an accomplishment type of photo. So yeah, that was really great. And side note, which I don't think chat knew, but this started the day before, and my very reliable sandals started to cut into my feet, and I limped a little bit more and more on the final day on the full park challenge. And this was my sacrifice for if you get queasy easily, turn away, but it's not that bad. Here's my foot on the outside and what it looked like. And it was every bit as painful as it looks. And so came home and iced that baby up and have a bandage on it now just to cushion it against the sneaker. But we went to Disney Springs yesterday to shop around and hang out a bit. I would not have been able to do that in that same sandal. So I actually went and bought another pair of Hoka's because I wore out the other ones. when I hurt my hip with one of my patients. So
boy, oh boy.
The attrition, it's the war of attrition in the Disney parks.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're closer to 1 hour. If you're good, I'm good.
Yeah, I would say we boy, oh boy, what a week it was. Definitely had a great time. Our two families are really one family, for sure. And then the DIZ family was behind us the whole week, cheering us on, and certainly talking about your anniversary, the 5-year anniversary on Saturday, and then all the events of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It was a phenomenal week, I will say.
I couldn't have said that any better, and love to bring special events to the channel. You get to step outside of your normal streams in the parks, and it's one that we had been pumping up for a while, and we pulled it off. We pulled it all off, and can't ask for more than that. So we'll be back next week, and I hope that comment on this podcast. It really helps. Like it. If you are watching, there is such thing as super thanks. You can hit the super thanks button, and you can certainly donate. We did add Venmo. We're happy that we're starting to get some Venmos in, for the simple reason that, we were told the younger generation does that and not PayPal. And I think they're starting to realize we do have the Venmo, and those who may have wanted to donate in the past haven't been able to, and now they can. So very good.
Awesome.
So yeah. We'll see y'all next week. I'm Corey.
I'm Lawrence.
We didn't practice this, but we're the Park Bros, right?
We're the Park Bros.
And we're the Park Bros. We'll see y'all next week.
See you.